here we go. We have a movie for this episode of the 31 Days of Dread. A movie that went viral. The virality of movies has come up a couple times already for this year. Trap went viral because Trap has one of the best concepts of any type of movie I can imagine. I am grateful that it came to us from M. Night Shyamalan. He's really on our list now as all-time horror guys. He solidified it this year with The Watchers, with this movie. He tries to do whimsy. I'll tell you that. I'll just tell you that right out of the bat. He tries to do whimsy. He tries to inspire, and he puts like these horror elements and just these ideas that really capture the imagination. So, what is Trap? Trap's not only the best horror concept of the entire year. People pushed against this movie pretty hard once we got through the hook. So is it a gotcha movie? No. This movie is a thriller. And for a lot of thrillers, they just keep going. And that's really, I would say, the big fault of this movie. Because this movie has faults. But I think we can ignore it all. Sit back and have a good time. And that's the whole idea of the 31 Days of Dread. Let's just rattle ourselves and have a good time doing it. It's October, and it's time for the 31 Days of Dread. This is where you get one horror movie a day for the entire month of October. That's how much we love horror. That's how much we love Halloween on the Film Buff podcast. And here's the crazy thing. This is the longest running horror event in all of podcasting. So get ready. We're going to rock and roll. We're going to scare our socks off. And yes, we're going to be grabbing some candy. Maybe some cereal. Let's go. This movie was made for $30 million. This movie made $82 million. So another success for Mr. M. Night. He always does. He'll release like a leveled movie. Just meaning a movie that doesn't make people happy, but kind of makes back its money. And then he comes back with just, we can call this like a low budget effort that just pops. And that's really a good way of describing this movie. This movie popped. 1 week it was not there, and the next week it was all over social media. This movie also brings back Josh Hartnett, who had, he's got a little bit of a comeback vibe with some of the promotional material, the interviews, and the general conversation around this movie. I believe it might have been Esquire. They did like a Josh Hartnett reflects on his career video, because they just can't do articles. They have to also have a social media presence. But they did this video, and it's good to see these guys go and talk about their careers, because Josh Hartnett he's fantastic. Always enjoyed what he's in. I just think he's very photogenic. I think he has a quote unquote movie look. I just wish he was in more stuff too. But hey, he's in this movie. He plays the Butcher. And the Butcher is a Philadelphia serial killer. And they're on the hunt for the Butcher. Everyone's looking for the Butcher. He makes pretty much like the one mistake he makes. They're able to reverse engineer that he's going to be at this concert. The concert is Lady Raven. He has a daughter. The daughter is nuts for Lady Raven. The movie begins with them getting to the show. And Hartnett, the Butcher, along the way, realizes that there's things happening in the stadium. There's just overwhelming police. They're escorting males back and forth, flashing lights in people's faces. So he gets an opportunity to speak with someone, and they just spill the beans. So the entire staff of the arena, they're in on setting a trap for the Butcher. But it's not really a trap. They're just planning to stopping every single male that's in the arena and talking to everybody. So, which is fine. But the premise of the movie is that this guy needs to escape a stadium looking for him. It's such a great concept. I love the trailer for this movie. The trailer like makes your heart race. You just get excited watching this. All the things we should have, right? Like, these are the elements of movie promotion. Like, have a great trailer, and then have that trailer in the movie to exceed your audience's expectations, right? So what happens is the butcher now, he escapes. And then we end up in the butcher's house with the family. Like, no joke. People are playing piano, they're having snacks. And this is the equivalent of like Taylor Swift popping over someone's house. We kind of get somewhat of a use of social media in this movie. Lady Raven uses her live feed or her go live feature on her app, on her phone, on what we believe to be Instagram, but she goes live on IG and she finds someone that the butcher has captive in one of his many like safe houses or his torture houses. So the guy gets free. And we kind of see a little bit of this chess match between the butcher and Lady Raven. That's almost like the second half of this movie. And then, look, not spoiling too much of the movie, but the butcher gets captured, kind of gets away, gets captured, kind of gets away. It's truly is a cat and mouse. We have another character that's our profiler, and she's, like in the mind of the butcher. So, and she's supposed to know his every move because she's so good at profiling and has caught other serial killers before. So, like, now we feel like a little bit of a threat. This movie's fun to watch. I do agree with a little bit of the criticism of getting outside the stadium. But I love the stadium stuff. I love this guy just trying to figure things out, trying to be sneaky. He's got his daughter like in the front row the entire time, so he's going back and forth. Really good tense stuff. I would have just really preferred, like, I liked the way how he got out of the stadium, and I would have preferred like that end the movie and the whole movie take place inside the stadium. I think that's what people wanted. Also, like, not much of a kill count. The guy's called the butcher. You think he would be able to deceive just by, like offing a person or two to get their clothes, like something. Like, we don't see the butcher in action. I think we wanted to see some of that, and I think we wanted to see, and there's opportunities down the road in this movie for the butcher to kind of let loose, and we don't quite get that. So it's just like these teases, and we just feel like the story is just like reaching, like it's reaching for us, and it's just not quite touching. But I still recommend this movie. I think this movie is a ton of fun. We have, if you guys need to know who plays Lady Raven, it's M. Night's daughter. So how crazy is that? Very cool stuff. All right, AKA Padders, thanks for hanging out with me. M. Night's Trap. AKA Padders, thank you for joining me for another episode of the 31 Days of Dread. We have been dedicated to horror for a long time on this feed, on this podcast. If you guys want to know more about everything we do here, go to akapad.com. From there, you can navigate to the 31 Days of Dread. We have a dedicated landing page that goes through all the years of the 31 Days of Dread, and we also have a directory that jumps you to any movie that we've done. So you can just look up the movie by name, you can go to the directory, it's all alphabetical, and you can just explore. And that's the intent, and that's why we're so into the 31 Days of Dread, because no one's done this. No one has put this much time, this much thought and effort into American horror and international horror, and we love it. Horror is the future of American cinema. Horror right now is holding up American cinema, and I'm so thankful for it. So I'm hoping that you can extend yourself, explore, and continue the conversation. akapad.com. Thanks, guys.